Hey folks, Jim from Salvinos J R Models, and I got something good for you this week. This may end up being a long video because I've got a lot of stuff that I want to show you, because I'm going to start off with the Kyle Larson Indy Car from 2025. He campaigned at Indy, and then he followed it up, took a quick flight out to Charlotte, and drove this thing around. So I'm going to show you what's inside this one, of course, because I already did the video on this, but I want to show you the decals between them. And I want to show you a little something that I've been working on that's going to be available in our new accessories store, and that is the driver for the Indy Car. So let's take a look and see what's inside the Kyle Larson Indy box and see how the decals compare with the Charlotte car. Now, why does that look brown? It is not brown like that, but it kind of looks that way. This is the toughest box lid I have seen on the Indy cars. I don't know what they did on this one. I may have to get the jackhammer out for this thing. There we go. Haven't had a box lid that tight since our first kits, where we were just a little off on our dimensions. But there we go. There's that. That was a great shot that we were provided by the kind folks at Indy, and it's on all around. And if you want a color layout on how the decals are going to sit, you can look at these pictures on the side. But of course, inside we do have the layout for everything. So let's take a quick look. Okay, we've got the windshield for there. Let's open up and see all the white stuff in here. So, you know, we try to minimize the need for you guys to paint your parts, especially on the Indy kits, because some of you guys don't have the facilities to paint. Some of you guys just would rather not. So that's a good looking. It's a good looking white, because it's yeah, it is glossy, but it's a good thick opaque. You don't have any. It doesn't look like any thin spots or anything like that. So it's a good opaque white. So you will not have to paint these. When we get to the decals, we'll see what you're going to have to do for the front wings. But all of this being white, you're not going to have to paint those. We'll take a look at the decals on these momentarily. Okay. White parts look, they look white. Who would have ever thought of that? Okay, round and squishies are round and squishy. Ooh, and they went to Ziplocs on them. Good. Those are always handy, having the Ziploc bags. Okay. Take a look at those without cutting off the fingers. Okay, so there's our metallic tree with your engine parts, and this being the Chevy. So there's your Chevy. The Honda, those engine parts would be over here, but this is the Chevy. So you get the Chevy engine tree, and the headers are a little bit easier to assemble on these than they are on the Honda. So, but I'm working on something for the headers, especially for the Honda, because that plate of spaghetti is a little, though I made them so they only go together one way. They are a little bit of a challenge, but that's the difficult part of that kit. So these all look nice. One of the black trees. There you go. There's the seat belts. Those seat belts will drop nicely into this seat. If you want to use the 3D printed driver, you will not use this and you will not use that, because he comes with a seat. The design they gave me was a very shallow seat. For the driver to fit in, it needed to drop down about another 1/4 of an inch. That's why if you buy a 3D printed driver, it will use a different seat, and it'll fit just right. So there's our underwing and our intake our deflectors for the rear tires, our intake. Yeah, what would you call those tunnels that that go inside the side pods? Covers for the side pods. Okay, there we go with those. All right, now let's look at our decals for this. There's our instruction booklet, and I'm going to get to these shocks in a little bit because I got something for those, something cool. There's our placement sheet for the decals and where they go. Look at the numbers on those. Look at the numbers on the decals. Here is an outline for where the carbon fiber pieces fit on the under tray if you decide to do that, because you can see there's a lot of carbon on this kit. That's just what makes it a little bit more special. Okay, so man, we got a lot of decals with this thing. Okay, there are your tire decals. Right rear out, right front out, right rear in, right front in. Okay, you're going to have to keep an eye on what you got instead of just cutting them off and throwing them in the water. Okay, be careful with them. That way you get those correct. Okay, let's skip ahead to the carbon fiber. Yeah, there's a lot. I don't think Clay could have gotten anything else on here. So if you want to get crazy, you can get crazy. What other lunatics, aside from Salvinos, would provide you in the kits the full carbon fiber sheet? So Clay, masterful job as usual. Okay. Oh man, that's bright. So there is, and actually it looks really good on my monitor, more so than what's in my hands. So there we go. There's all the blue. Okay, there's your wings, your front wings, right there. So you won't have to paint any of that white. That'll go on top of the rear wing. Yeah, it's a lot of work in the decaling, but oh man, Clay, outstanding, outstanding. I need my magnifying glasses to see what that little guy is, because my regular readers, I can't read it. So let's leave that there, and I'm going to open up the Kyle Larson Charlotte car. Sometimes it works to just open up the box upside down, because that's the side I'm trying to get at. Okay. So here we go. There are, let's get that out of my way. There are the decals for Kyle Larson's Charlotte car. Nice matching colors and everything. Isn't that cool? Yeah, nice job on everything on that Hendrick and oh man, who was that? I can't remember what team that was. Shame on me for not remembering Larson's team. And I'm looking on there and I don't see it. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. But anyway, there is all the stuff on Larson's Indy car. There's his Charlotte car. You know what, guys? These are going to be great kits to build together to put on your shelf. Having both of them is just going to be really, really cool side by side. And in fact, I'm suggesting to Rick that we should be thinking about doing more of the cars if we can, to be able to have them so you can display the side by side, like the Joseph Newgarden car and the Joey Logano that had the same livery, or a similar livery to that. And the Wood Brothers car with Josh Berry. One of those that he just ran. I don't remember which race it was, and it was like one of the others, and I can't remember who drove that one either. Sorry, guys, but matching liveries, and I think it will be really great additions to put up on your shelves. So let me clear these, and I'm going to bring something back over here. Oh, it's right next to me. Let me grab these if I can't get my headphone wire undone. So, what we have, I'm going to do another little video with some stuff from the computer, but we have, and they will be in the website in very soon. Let's see, today is what, the 8th? I think it is August 8th. It is August 8th. I'm guessing probably later next week we are going to have these Indy drivers, the kit. It is a 3D printed kit that will you'll be able to get. The arms are, I've glued them on here and I've glued the head on, but you can pose these. You can move the head around if you like. The arms are pretty much set to hold the wheel in the steering wheel right in the correct position. These, you have to have these finished and ready to install into the body of your car, into the monocoque, before you glue that monocoque down to the underwing. Now you can do a lot of stuff before you get there, but you've got to there is no going back. If you want one of these into your kit, you got to start it from the beginning. You can't go back unless you decide you just want to cut his legs off and stuff him in and grind the heck out of your seat. You're not going to be able to. But here's one that I just kind of dummied up, fit into the Joseph Newgarden monocoque, so you can see how they fit, how they look. It helmet is just barely a touch above the halo, just like some of the tall guys are, and so you can paint them up. I did a kind of a I'm not a builder, I'm not a painter. I'm a sculptor, not a painter. Anyway, I didn't do a great job on it, but you know what? You can see how it looks. If I were doing this, I would have painted the inside of the car black, or even, I think we've got the carbon fiber for the inside, so I would have done that too. But you can see they fit. You can see he holds, or can you see? Let me turn this light on. It's probably going to be really bad. Yeah, but now you can kind of see inside. You can see he is holding the steering wheel. And you can see it a little bit more. So it all depends on how crazy you want to get with these guys. So we're working on all sorts of accessory kits to go with these. I will show momentarily other stuff, but I'll have some digital images. But for the moment, here's a couple printed racks. This is a printed rack of the shock kit for the back for the Indy Car. So that is available. I'm not sure whether Rick wants to double that up. It will probably double up with something that I don't have here, but I'll show the picture in a minute. We will have available the Honda started it first. Now Chevy has it, and that's it's Rick calls it the electronics bucket, but it's the kind of a basket or bucket on the driver's left side of the car, where they've got some of the electronics that sit in there. So we've got one of those now. It'll go in any of those. We'll probably put that and the shocks in a single kit from that. But I will show some pictures from the computer. I'll post those on in a moment, so you can see what those are going to look like. So those will help. And then I've been working on a bunch of stuff for the next gen. Like there is a setup of shocks for the next gen kit. These are going to be probably starting next week. These are going to start being loaded up onto the web store. Most all of my parts that I've been making for some time are all going to be shifting over to be into the web store. And so many guys aren't aware that I have been making, or we have been making accessories. Now they will be on the web store. So you'll, for those of you who want to add, just a little bit more sprinkles on your cupcakes, we're going to have some good stuff. Yeah, there's other guys that are doing them, and I'm not saying anything negative against them. The only thing that's better about ours is it'll be a one-stop shop. Yeah, you can probably get a very equivalent from somebody else. Um, but when you buy a kit on our web store, you will be able to just go straight across and add the add shocks or add a driver and other things. And these are all going to be on the web store very soon. We are going to be bringing back our web store with paints and tools and paintbrushes and accessories, and adding a whole lot more. We want to make this a much more usable hobby experience for the builders, so that you can buy our kits and then you can buy accessories for not just ours, but some of the accessories that you didn't know were even available, because they may be in kind of background areas on eBay. But you'll be able to buy some of those photo etched parts and machined metal parts and things like that to build your to take yours to the next step. So I'm gonna shut up here. I'm gonna go over to the other computer, bring it, do some other things, record some video on there, and then splice it in. I have no idea what I'm going to say there yet, so I'm not even going to introduce it too much, other than I'm going to show some images of some of the newly designed parts, and I may even run them through a KeyShot to make them look like real painted cool stuff. So bear with me. So I discovered something, that going into KeyShot, I can't take an STL, a printable type style file, and just change the colors and move things around like I have been doing in CAD. Though I do have a CAD helmet on this, so that's why you can see he's got the helmet into different colors. Yes, I have created a Stig. You can put a Stig in your own kits. So anyway, there we go with that. So that is, once again, that is a 3-piece, or actually a 5-piece. Let me go over to the model table. And the kit on that will include separate arms. They are keyed so that they will only plug into the body in a certain way, and they fit exactly so. Grab the other guy. So that they look like they are driving and holding the wheels. So they fit right as they're supposed to. So this is how you will get your kit. It'll be all supported like this. You can just snap the parts off. If you have not dealt with the print before, you can snap them off. You can take a sharp knife and cut them off. You can take your angled sprue nippers and nip them off. Being where they are here, they're going to not be seen much. These you'll clip those off, and then you'll be able to sand them, file them as you want to before you paint them. On the helmet, if you can clip off these 3 supports, but cut this support down here, and if you've got a pin vise, you will be able to chuck that peg up in the pin vise, and you've got something to hold this when you go to paint that helmet. So and there are the shocks for the Indy Car. That's how the 3D printed parts will come out on that tree. Back to the model table. And they will look like this. And they assemble pretty easily. You got to make sure that the pin on this end of the shock does not line up with the pin on this, because these will sit on the car with those reservoirs angled down, and I'll show you that in another image. So there we go, and you can see the colorized version, how they look. You can paint them up that way. You can assemble them that way. You can paint those springs with different colors, because I know the different colors have different rates, but I think a lot of them run black springs for that rate on those, but the black spring doesn't show up very well on the image, does it? Oh, I thought I had a front view, but it's you wouldn't see much because of the front of the transmission. But those uh, reservoirs angle down slightly. They angle down at about 5 or 10 degrees so that they will clear your body in there. So let's see what's next. Okay, the other things that I have and I don't have one of those printed and sitting here. That's the electronics basket or bucket or whatever you want to call it that goes on the underneath the left uh, uh, side panel, side pod, and you can see it's got the fittings in there, so they will plug into the holes in the little electronics boxes there. You can run your wiring to your heart's content on that one. Let's see, what do I have next? Next I have it's the AN fittings tree that I've had for a while. But what I made some changes, Rick talked about some things. I made the changes because the tops of them, I had them open. Instead, what I did was I have pegs coming out of them. So if you use a shrink fit tubing or something like that, you can slide it over that. If you need the ones that do have a hole, let me know. I can always go back and print more of them. So let's get into some of the parts for the that I have for the next gen kit. There are the shocks. So those you can see on the right. Those are the ones for the front, and the ones on the to the left. Those are the ones for the rear. The springs fit on either one, and it's pretty simple. And once again, they just fit over. You just slide them on where they need to. If you need to trim a little on the inside of the whether it be the end of the spring or the cap end part on it, if you need to trim it out a little bit because there might be a little bit of leftover resin, number one. Number two, when you paint it, you're going to have some excess on there, so you may need to ream those out. But anyway, it'll be a cool little accessory to add to your next gen kits. And there are the brakes for the next gen. So those are actually more detailed because those are the brakes off of the original car. And there you've got your front discs, and on the left with the big vents, and your rear discs with the small vents and a smaller disc. So you've got those. And then lastly, there it is. For those who want to go even crazier, I now have, or will have, I should say, these will be available on the website over the next couple weeks. So if you want to have the rim faces that are just slightly more accurate, not much because production ones came out pretty good. The difference being these have the depression for the nut, and you've got the wheel nuts on, and they will come, of course, in a set of 4 of those. So if you want to upscale your next gen just a little bit, you can do those. So all sorts of neat stuff. Let's see. Let me go back to the model table because I don't think I showed those. Yeah, here we go. So there is the AN fittings, the Army Navy fittings. So you can see there's quite a few of them on there, and they do have the little tips sticking up so that you can put some heat shrink tubing on there and connect those. There are the next gen shocks, and I didn't have pictures of, but there is the driver for the next gen cars. So if you want to add a driver into your cars, these fit. Once again, the arms, the shoulders are keyed so that the hands will fit onto the steering wheel. So those are going to be available very soon on the Salvinos J R Models web store. We're going to keep putting out more and more cool stuff for you guys who want to just take them up a notch and take them up a notch. So there you go. That should be enough for today. I know this is a long video. This is a long video for the unboxings and stuff. But hope you'll take advantage of those. Hope you're I'm gonna love seeing the builds you guys do, because some of you guys really enjoy taking it up the next step. So thanks for Rick, and I always want to thank you guys for building and buying Salvinos J R Models. If you buy one model in your entire career, if you buy, as some guys have, over about 170 models of our kits, they bought everything we've done. We are just as happy for one or for all of them. So thanks for buying our kits. Thanks for helping to make a couple old guys very happy in our we can't say retirement age, because we're that age, but we ain't retiring, guys. We're going to be in this for the long haul. So anyway, thanks for buying and building our kits, and I'll be talking tomorrow for Saturday morning here on YouTube Live with Rick, and I don't know who else is going to be with us. We'll be going over some things then. And then Club Guys, Tuesday night. And for those of you who have been thinking about getting a shirt, we've got like 2 days left of the store. So if you want to get a shirt, you better do it today or through Sunday, because they're going to be shut down for a few months. So anyway, thanks again. Thanks for building our stuff.